Hello, this is Vicki Gervicus from the Greater Gainesville Chamber, and I'm very happy today to be here with Tina Certain. And she's a very familiar name, but she is actually running for the Board of County Commission seat in District 2 for our upcoming primary election. Tina, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Vicki, and thank you for this opportunity to come and share some of what I stand for in this election cycle. And as you said, I'm Tina Certain. I'm a lifelong Alachua County resident. I worked professionally as an accountant for 23 and a half years with Gainesville Regional Utilities. And I'm also an 8-year, finishing up my 8th year as an elected school board member. And I'm running for county commission because I noticed that there are things that happen and impact student well-being outside of the classroom. And those are things that I think that are under the purview of the county commission. I also, or some of the purview of the county commissioner. I also noticed that families are being squeezed by housing costs while roads, infrastructure, and services are struggling to keep pace with growth. I bring both an inside knowledge of public systems, having worked at in local government and having served on the school board, as well as a record of making um, sort of what we'll call day-to-day business transactions or decisions, approving budgets, making policy, hiring an executive, as well as difficult decisions in the public sphere. I have experience doing that. My agenda is straightforward. I like to work towards lowering costs by connecting housing, jobs, and transportation, be able to plan growth of our infrastructure and roads and services to keep up with the growth in residents and residential as well as commercial growth in our county, and to protect our natural resources and neighborhoods, as well as local control. As I said, I'm a lifetime resident here in Alachua County, so I've got local roots. I'm tested in the public sphere, and I'm ready to deliver on day one after election. I'd be honored to be your next county commissioner for District 2 and ask for your vote on August 18th.
Very good. Okay, well, let's jump right in. And I think some of the questions I have for you will allow you to amplify a little bit of your opening points. So the
Okay.
first question is, what is the role of the Board of County Commissioners in the community, in your opinion?
So my view, I think the role of the county commissioner is to, well, of course, we're the legislative body for one of the county here and its municipalities, making policies and procedures that govern in the unincorporated area as well as countywide, providing services, infrastructure planning for roads and stormwater management, fire protection. We also provide the funding or collect the property taxes that provides funding for the constitutional officers in our county, the sheriff, the supervisor of elections, the tax collector, property appraiser, as well as the clerk of the court. Um, and we are just as I said, the legislative body for the county, approving as well as a comprehensive plan, zoning and land use types of duties, responsibilities as well. So we are the legislative branch of the county, as I said. We have a judicial branch, there's a legislative branch, and then we hire the executive of the county, which is our county manager.
Okay, terrific. All right, the next question, I think, again, touches on some of your opening. What would be your top priorities and projects if you are elected?
Mhm. So if elected to the county commission, one of the top things that I would, like, as I said, I have three priorities, and it is lowering cost of living for folks. And I think right now, top of mind for most people in our community is housing, um, attainable housing, housing that people can afford to pay out of the wages that are here. It is economic development, pursuing and working with my colleagues on the county as well as other agencies in the commercial community to expand job growth and economic opportunity across our county. And it is protecting our natural resources. We want to grow in a responsible way that does not hurt our water supply, does not impede unnecessarily or in a manner that is not positive on our natural resources, conservation lands and things of that nature. And we have got to, citizens have got to be able to afford to live in our community and get to work, as well as healthcare, food access, and things of that nature. So I want to help expand economic opportunity across our county. And I think by doing those things, it also improves, as I said, where I'm leaving the school district, my position as an elected school board member, it would also buoy up the youth in our community.
Okay, very good. Third question for you is what particular skills and experiences are you bringing to this office?
Ooh, so the particular skill set that I bring, as I said, is I am a 23-year former employee of Gainesville Regional Utilities, which is what was, I'm not sure how they're classifying it now, that it's with the takeover from Tallahassee, but it was a municipal utility at that time. So I bring a inside knowledge of a public institution from the school boards, the utility side. As an accountant, I understand large budgets and being able to decipher those and prioritize expenditures based on community needs. I understand the trim process, having done that over 7, 8 cycles as a school board member, as well as the school board member that sits on the Children's Trust. So I've experienced hiring an executive leadership at the school board, as well as with the Children's Trust of Alachua County. I also bring a firsthand knowledge of policy making and governance, hearing from constituents, assessing the needs of our community, and balancing that with the desire and the feedback from our community. That is a skill set that I think I've honed in on, and oftentimes it hasn't been easy. It's been very contentious. So those are things that I bring, as well as being a local, knowing our community, having grown up here, um, having benefited from what's best in Gainesville, and also being knowledgeable of some of the challenges from our county. I think will all be valuable things that serve me well as a county commissioner.
Okay, very good. The fourth one is a new one that we're all going to be giving a lot of thought to, I think, in the next few months. What are your thoughts on the property tax amendment that'll appear on the ballot in the fall?
Um, so I acknowledge that affordability is an issue, and most citizens want property tax relief, or they want some type of financial relief. But in its current form, I don't support that amendment because it was hastily rolled out without any studies on its impact on cities and counties. There is the carve out for school districts, which is a positive, but we don't understand the full impact. And it's really not, it benefits the residential homeowner, but the shift will be to commercial and apartment dwellers in the tax, us being able to collect taxes from those entities since you're given a bigger exemption to residents. So I don't see it as a tax cut, it's a tax shift in who will be paying. And we still will have all of the requirements of funding the constitutional officers as it's laid out, offices as it's laid out in our state constitution. So I am against it because I think it is puts would put our county in the position of having to go to Tallahassee and almost beg for funding to um, do the things that our citizens and provide the services that our citizens have come to expect here in our county. Alachua County is special, I'm told by several of my school board colleagues, in the sense that there are things that we desire and we want, and as the Constitution and law permits, our citizens have voted to tax themselves to provide those additional services. And this particular proposal would hamper that. We don't know the full impact of it because there have been no economic studies done on it. It was just, they came together in a couple of days, did the carve out and just voted on it to put it on there. So in its current form, I don't support it because I think it's too much, there are too many unknowns and it creates too much instability at the local level. And Tallahassee takes too much local authority away. If you don't have a way to fund your government, your local government, that means you're going someplace else to get your funding, you know, in Tallahassee to get your funding, and they're deciding what your community can have.
Very good. All right. And my last question for you is, what prompted you to run for this seat on the county commission?
So what prompted me to run, as I kind of alluded to earlier, is I've served on the board, school board for 8 years, and I've also been the statutory member, school board member on the Children's Trust. And operating in those two roles for the past 8 years, I was spurred to run for school board because I wanted to improve academic outcomes for our students of color, students that are low income. And what I started to see, Vicki, is I am in schools and there's a lot of transitions, a lot of transient students, a lot of challenges that students were experiencing that negatively impacted their learning. But I also saw that, though I think that the county had some input into some of those things. And so this particular seat was going to be vacant because Commissioner Wheeler decided not to run for reelection. And I thought that if I'm already serving at the county level as a school board member, if I switch roles to county commissioner, it gives me a little bit more capacity to impact student and family well-being versus just on an educational level. Because if we have students, now we have about 1,000 students that are labeled as McKinney-Vento, experiencing some form of homelessness or housing instability in our district. About 1,000 identified. It estimated that it's probably twice that many that are actually experiencing homelessness, but just have not been identified as such, right? I saw food insecurity, children lacking healthcare and dental services, and some of those healthcare and dental services are being funded by the Children's Trust. I saw parents having problems getting to work, getting to school, for meetings, school meetings, and things of that nature. And so I felt that being here, I'm going to stay here in this community. I wanted to continue to serve. I thought that I could still be of value and benefit the community by pursuing this role and on a wider scale than just education. So
Okay,
that's why
very
I
good.
decided to run.
All righty, very good. Well, now we have a couple minutes left for you to just touch on anything that we didn't get to, anything that I didn't ask you, or just give a little summary. Whatever, the floor is yours to bring us on home.
Oh, the floor is mine to bring us on home. Well, as I said, Alachua County is my home, has been my home. My husband Lawrence and I decided to raise our children here, and the county and the community has been good to us. We've had very good opportunities, and we decided to stay here. It was a choice for us to stay here to be close to our family. I've decided to serve in order to make an impact, a positive impact on my community. I love it here, as I've said to several people that when I decided to run for school board and I left my job as an accountant because the two interests were competing because of time. I want folks to have the opportunity to do well for their families. And I know a good number of people and the majority of the citizens in our community do want that. They want an opportunity to have a good job. They want stable housing. They want a school that is stable in where their children are going and they're able to learn. And but they don't always participate in government or able to serve. So I am at a point in my life where I've been fortunate. The citizens have trusted me by electing me twice to serve as a school board member. And I'm grateful for that. And I give my all to that. I've done advocating for not just education, but some of the other things that I've repeated so far. And I would like to continue to do that. And I've spent a good bit of my career in public sector as well as in my personal life serving in this community. So, and as I said earlier, I understand public systems as well as being accountable for difficult decisions that have to be made. And I've decided to run to just try to lower costs, increase our housing stock, to improve our public transit system. I'm serving on the transportation planning or committee here, our MTPO, well, formerly MTPO, is now TPO, as well as with the Children's Trust, wanting to be able to plan our growth and connect systems so that people can move around and get to where they need to be in an efficient manner with a car or without a car. Try to improve those pocketbook issues that are top of mind for most people, as well as protecting what matters most here. Local control is very, very important here, for every community, but more so here because we're having some challenges where we've had that infringement on our local control, like every community, with Tallahassee preempting local ordinances around growth management and things of that nature, but with them taking our utility, Gainesville Region Utilities, as well as with this property tax proposal. That is really an infringement upon local government's ability to raise funds according to how the Constitution and the laws are laid out. They're impeding upon that. So I wanted to be able to stand up for those things, local control for us. And I'm here in the county, plan to be here. And folks have seen me and many have supported me. And I would hope that they would continue to trust me to be their representative. And on August 18th, that they would be certain and to vote on August 18th, but to also be certain to vote for Tina Certain for County Commissioner this year.
Very good. That works out good for you. Very nice. Very nice. All right, Tina. Well, we're going to echo Tina's thoughts at the Greater Gainesville Chamber. We want to make sure that everyone in our community gets out, makes their voice heard, and is at the polls, either early voting or on Tuesday, August 18th, and get your vote out. Thanks again very much, Tina. We'll see you out on the campaign trail.
Thank you.